All right, back at it again, and this time we're going to be going over the interview they had for Gundam Rogue Orbit. I guess Crunchyroll had an interview going on, so I'm very curious. Want to see how this Gundam game's going to turn out. Let's see. All right, so we know this Summer Game Fest 2026. They unveiled Gundam Rogue Orbit. Let's see. Brand new game utilizing the world-renowned Gundam IP. It's a fast-paced action game where you'll be able to control your mobile suit. You'll play through a campaign where humanity fights back against an alien threat. They have done alien threats in a few of the more later Gundam series. Not a big fan of that. I kind of want more of a human versus human mech battle kind of thing. But we'll see how it goes this time around. It features 3 characters so far. There's a protagonist, a young man named Rex, who also pilots the Gundam Helix mobile suit. Sophia, a mysterious young girl who watches over him. I guess probably some new type-ish character, I guess. And then Haro 7, which is a little floating ball he has, right? It comes outside the cockpit with him. Yeah, it's the Gundam's mascot. Yeah. Never been a fan of Haro. It's fucking really a lot of time it just walks around or floats around saying Haro, Haro. It really doesn't do much. It's supposed to be like the R2D2 of Gundam. Rogue Orbit is going to be a narrative-driven single-player adventure, one that's going to bring in new players and make existing ones excited. It's the most cinematic Gundam video game ever. Not much is known about Rogue Orbit at the time. He sat down with producer Yuya Tomiyama and chief producer Shinya Satake to see what the game is all about. Let's see the role. Let's see. All right, let's go down some more. It does say this interview was edited for clarity and brevity. Will Gundam Rogue Orbit be a good spot for players who aren't familiar with Gundam to get into the series? He says, our mission for this project was to bring Gundam to as many worldwide game fans as possible. So, I mean, I think every company would like to do this, but Gundam's fan base, they have been soloing, they have been carrying this game solo, right? They're the entire franchise. So we'll see, because a lot of Gundam fans, when Evolution came out, they hated it because they didn't like how mobile suits move. They thought it was more like it was just humans with mech skins. I disagree with that. I liked Evolution before it shut down, but we'll see. They're going a different style of combat for this game. It's gonna be very Armored Core-ish, right? And for a lot of those fans who may not know what Gundam is, who want us to serve as sort of a jump point into the big overall Gundam franchise. Yeah, so I imagine it's gonna probably have a lot less to do with new types and bullshit, right? To do that, we've created this brand new title with a brand new universe. Yeah, so you don't need to know any previous IP knowledge in order to experience Rogue Orbit. But I imagine knowing previous IP knowledge will give you, oh wait, you'll know certain things. So in the trailer, if you watch the Gundam Orbit, you can clearly see a mobile suit that looks very similar to the GM and the Gundam franchise. So you'll see a few, I guess, cameos, I guess, right? Gundam's a very big IP. Yeah, it's just yada yada yada. While you mentioned can't go specific details about the gameplay today, what kind of style or feel are you aiming for? A more mech-based system like Armored Core? This is what I'm thinking it's going to be. It's definitely more like Armored Core, right? Or more of a character action game like Devil May Cry, or something more methodical like Monster Hunter. Who the fuck is? Why would you think Monster Hunter? That sounds so fucking weird to me. The action scenes we've shown are a very small part of the overall gameplay. We have a lot more weapons and action scenes to be shown in the future. But some of the things we focus on for this game are the mobile suit you're piloting to feel very special and unique. We really want a mobile suit to feel like an extension of the human body, so the action will feel like you're piloting a character rather that's moving around fluidly. All right, so if anybody is familiar with G Gundam, Mobile Fighter G Gundam, how the pilots in that series control their mobile suits is they kind of got in a full body latex suit. They stood up in it, and however they move their arm or leg, the mobile suits would mimic that same movement. So I'm assuming obviously they're probably not gonna do that same way, because I guess mobile suits and the OG series, their movement was kind of limited. But you probably better. I'm assuming this gonna be something similar to that, right? Because me more based on. I'm kind of curious because hey, this Helix mobile suit's fucking. He's kind of chunky. Let's talk about the art direction for a second. It's pretty stylized, but it's not like a traditional anime style that a lot of people associate with Gundam. In its art direction, a push toward a more Western stylized art direction appeal. Huh. I don't know how I feel about this. For the longest time, I wish Bandai would do it. Would give the rights to like an American or Western game developer just to see how they put their spin on Gundam. I don't know about how I feel about Japanese trying to make it Western. Like, well, this is the question actually. Is it a direction to push towards a more Western stylized art direction appeal? He says, as stated before, Gundam is, as stated before, it is to bring Gundam to new fans all over from the world. So this is the first time we are using a game as a starting point for a new Gundam. I mean, I don't know, really, because a lot of Gundam games you didn't really need knowledge of the series to play them. So I don't. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, is this? Well, I guess because evolution is more of a collab, right? You wouldn't really count evolution, but we definitely didn't want to be trapped by the same existing conventions of what Gundam could be. And a photorealistic art style is definitely one of those challenges. So it's less so that we're targeting the West, but definitely more so the world as a whole. And that's what art style reflects. All right, so he's got like funnel bits or right here. Sorry, fight alien. I just don't. I'm curious. I mean, I'm sure the game would be fun, but I don't know how I feel like an Armored Core style. Because to me, it's gonna be like feels like me. Is this gonna be Armored Core, but with no customization? You know, is this how the combat's gonna be? You're gonna be stuck with the same looking mobile suit for an entire game, but you get different choices of weapons. Like in a lot of the Gundam series games, when you play them, you start off with like a really bad unit, or in a certain part of the game you get an upgraded version. Now, certain ones you kind of stay with the OG unit from start to end. Let's see, the middle part is the cockpit and mobile suit, but that's normal mostly. And regarding specifics of the design, actually a lot of them will end up relating to the gameplay, so unfortunately we won't be too specific about that. Regarding its sword, it's definitely just one of those weapons that the Helix will be able to use. We'll definitely be explaining more, but one thing we want fans to feel with satisfaction of swinging these weapons around. That's reflected in the design as well. Gundam is an extension of the human being, and that philosophy can be seen in a lot of parts of the Helix's design. The staff that designed this has a lot of experience with Gundam games. Dude, I'm sorry. I know I'm fucking fumbling around with words over here, but whoever fucking worded this translation is fucking shit. And they've brought all the experience together. What kind of themes are you hoping to tell with the story? Is it going to be more of an optimistic one, or is it going to be more very gritty? What is the tone of it? If we know of anything to do with Toriyama, we know, well, this is Tomiyama. People are going to be down left and right constantly, right? For no reason. We introduced the first three main characters, Rex, Sophia, and the heart. Dude, I sort of got this character, the Haru. It better not be so forced. Like, I was like, it had such a very limited to no role whatsoever, and some of the other series. Obviously, they're going to be introducing more characters in the upcoming days. The relationships between these characters and human drama that comes from these relationships will be a big focal point in the story. Additionally, Gundam's going to have a very special existence in the universe that fights. I mean, that's okay. Well, that's pretty much the like fucking plot for like every single Gundam series, right? Gundam is one of the most popular anime IP of all time. So, what do you think Gundam anime fans will get out of playing Rogue Orbit? Bandai Namco Studio has a lot of experience working on Gundam video games. We really wanted to concentrate on that experience and create a very satisfying action game, which I think fans will look forward to. There's a lot of little things that they will pick up on through Gundam Rogue Orbit. Wow, this I'm gonna be honest here. We literally learned nothing in this interview. I think some of these questions are just really bad. What if they chose to ask him? Like, I would have, if the first thing when we played it, when we watched the trailer, the first question I would have asked him, do you pilot the same unit from start to end? Or do you get to, because a lot of times in a lot of Gundam games, you get to pick between different units. That'd been one of the first questions I asked. But a lot of this is like fucking word slop. All right, so and just go back to some of the previous points and some of the questions they asked. Obviously, like I said, they can't go in specific details about the gameplay, but what kind of style are you aiming for? Now, I think this is probably one of the better questions he asked. More of a mech basis like Armored Core, or more of a character action like Devil May Cry. Monster Hunter is still weird to me. He does say they're a very small part of the overall gameplay. We have a lot more. This is I don't know. I don't like this answer either, though. The action scenes that we've shown were a very small part of the overall gameplay. We have a lot more weapons and action scenes to be shown in the future. But some of the things we focused on for this game were the mobile suits mobile suit that you're piloting and feel very special and unique. I'm curious if there will be any segments in the game where you get out of the mobile suit and walk around. I guess I can understand why some people might think this is towards a push towards more Western style people players, because this game is using what is it, the guy who does the Doom music is going to be actually part of this game. So I understand why people will say that. And then not only that, we're finding a lot of monstrosities, it seems like. Or like this one is going to come off very similar to I guess or Iron-Blooded Orphans. I'm pretty sure the main character uses a lot of like melee weapons. I guess you probably obviously will have beam weaponry in this game as well. Alright, so he does ask, can you walk me through Gundam Helix's design? The middle part is a cockpit, the mobile suit. I mean, that's not, alright. I think this is a somewhat okay question. But he gives this guy, I feel like this guy is definitely talking to somebody, as somebody who knows jack shit about Gundam. He says the middle part is the cockpit, the mobile suit. That is, so typically almost every mobile suit until a certain later on in certain early series or later on in the years, every single mobile suit's cockpit is located in the chest, the middle part of the mobile suit, the torso. Later on through other series or later timelines, the cockpits are slowly starting to be located in the head of the mobile suit. This is, I don't know. This question, the answer is, I don't know. Yeah, it's in the cockpit. It's in the middle part of the mobile suit. Okay, all right. But we can't. They really. We don't get. This interview literally tells us absolutely nothing really about the game. Other than this interview basically boils down to. All right, we got 3 characters we're interested in the game. You get the main character, some girl named Sophia, our gimmicked R2D2 Haru, and then its cockpit is in its torso, and it had different weapons it's going to use. That is mostly for the entirety of what this interview comes down to. They didn't, dude. I can't, man. Yeah, I wish he just asked. Well, maybe these questions are pre-screened, right? I just wish they asked better questions. I literally can't get over this. He asked him about the design of the Gundam, and he literally said, "The middle part is a cockpit." Okay, as always, everyone, peace out.